Hello everybody! Happy Sunday. I feel like it's been a really long time since I have come on here on a Sunday. And yeah, um, I was going to come on and do a full makeup look, but my brushes need washed so bad that I refuse to even do my eyeshadows until I wash my brushes. So I thought that I would get on here, and it's been a while since I've talked about what I'm going to talk about. So whenever you get on here, say hi, and if you're watching the replay, just let me know below so I can say thank you. Yeah, it has been, I wanted to come on here yesterday, and then I thought, no, I'll wait until Sunday, and then today came, and I don't know what time it is, but I'm like, if I don't go now, I'm never gonna go. And this is the first weekend in 5 months that I haven't had my coding job. My coding job just ended this past Thursday. So this was the first weekend that I had, like, I did not have to code. I did not have to do anything, and it was perfect timing because it was my husband's weekend off, so we were just completely lazy, and it felt amazing. I don't even care to admit that. It was just completely relaxing, watching movies and just hanging out. It was really, really much needed. So, that's why I did not come on here yesterday like I had originally planned, but I made a commitment to myself, and I knew I had to get on here at some point today. So, it has been, I feel like, a really long time since I've shared why I even do what I'm doing, why I'm in network marketing. And I have such a bigger network now than when I first started. So I remember, well, if you're one of my customers, you know I have a VIP group, and I have had that since I started the industry 3.5 years ago. And that was the only place that I would ever do my live videos. And I remember my very first live video that I did on my personal page. Oh, I cried. And I was so terrified, and I was so nervous. And but at the same time, I felt like, well, it's okay because I'm just talking about my why. And everyone always says if your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not big enough. Like, you need to dig deeper. And while I get that, I do. Sometimes my why will get to me, but ultimately, I just think that I know how to, like, hold myself together a little bit more. So I obviously don't have to, like, be a baby whenever I talk about it on live every time, but I really just feel like, it's important to share our why from time to time. Like, I know my why, but I also feel like, hi Judy. I also feel like sometimes these topics are different to talk about. Like, they aren't really what everyone wants to talk about. They're not really what everyone wants to hear. And the reason that I know that it's a topic that I need to talk about is because I just have that strong feeling in my stomach, like, telling me to just do it, because somebody needs to hear what I have to say. Someone needs to hear what I have to say about network marketing, about the industry, about why I'm here. And maybe it won't be someone on Facebook, maybe it'll be someone on my YouTube, but someone somewhere needs to hear it. And that is when, like, whenever I have that feeling, like, I know I just have to do it, but it still makes me uncomfortable. Because, I've been here for 3.5 years, so it's like, okay, well, people know why I'm here. But it's nice to have a reminder because, like I said, my network has grown so much since I first started doing any of this that you never know until you share your journey. You never know, if there's someone that's working a corporate job who is so incredibly miserable working their corporate job and who is just dying to have another stream of income, so maybe they can cut down to part-time at their corporate job, or maybe they can eventually work their way up and just be able to quit their corporate job altogether. And like, I never know if I'm going to meet another mom who stays at home with her kids like I do now, who needs something to call her own. And I get that now more than ever because I have Coco and I'm homeschooling Django, so I'm really with the kids all the time. And I couldn't imagine, there's some days where we're homeschooling and I just sit there and kind of reflect, and it's just like, I couldn't imagine not having pharmacy or my business, something of my own, something to call my own. Because I I would feel so consumed. So this is like a really good outlet for me. And even when I worked, so I guess I'll go ahead and start getting into my why, since that kind of falls into my category of what I'm talking about now. So I originally, and your why will evolve, okay? We are humans. We are meant to grow. We are meant to change. We are meant to evolve, okay? So your why it is that you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, even if you have a college degree and you're following that passion, as long as you're growing, like, your why is going to change with you, and that's okay. Like, it should be. You're like, that's normal. I don't think that it's like, to me, I don't think it's okay to just stay in the same spot forever. Like, I truly believe that we are meant to grow and evolve and meet other people and touch other people's lives and help other people, like, grow and evolve. And sometimes I think that us being in network marketing, like, we have the best platform to touch other people's lives, like, the best. So let's see. I originally started in this journey 3.5 years ago, and I started because I needed a second stream of income. I worked full-time, and so I had a full-time corporate job, and I was sick. At the time, I didn't know with what, and I had been, at that point, it had been going on at least 8 years at that point, where I had no answers, and I was just going to different primary doctors who were sending me to different specialists after specialist after specialist, and taking all these different, tubes of blood work, or vials, whatever you want to call them, and always just telling me that I'm normal and I'm too young to feel that way. And I knew that I needed to go a different route. The Western medicine route wasn't working for me for what I needed. So I was introduced to holistic naturopathic care, and I had actually found a practitioner in my area where I live, and decided to start going. And holy cow, is it freaking expensive, like, which really, really sucks. And I really hope and pray that one day insurance will, catch on, and they'll make ends meet together and kind of work together, because it's expensive, and I needed a supplement income so I could pay for all of these visits. I was going to acupuncture, so I was getting Chinese herbs from there, and then seeing this doctor. I mean, it was hundreds of dollars for a consultation. It was hundreds of dollars for your follow-up visit. It was hundreds of dollars for your lab work. It was hundreds of dollars for your supplements from them. And, I kept going because I was getting answers that no one had been able to give me. Not from Ohio, not moving to Florida. Like, everyone just treated me like I was crazy. And at some points I started to believe, like, okay, maybe I really am, like, like, something's mentally wrong with me, and I'm, like, bringing all this on myself. But end result, it's a bunch of different autoimmune issues, and I'm so thankful for holistic care and naturopathic practitioners and doctors and all of those lovely people, and especially my acupuncturist. But it's not cheap, so I needed to find another source of income, which is where network marketing came in. And I had already been using stuff for so long, and I'm like, I already love all this, so I can go ahead and just start promoting it. And my first initial thoughts was, I just want to get enough, even if I can cover one or two of my supplements. So one supplement was roughly $30, depending on which one it was. So let's just say I would have been happy with at least $60 a month just to cover something. And because I was coming out of pocket a lot, and we didn't have, like, all that extra money to just go see a holistic doctor and do all of the stuff that I needed to do, like, to finally start healing. And so I needed extra money for that. And one thing led to another. I just had fun with it. And the thing about network marketing is you want to join someone, first of all, that you vibe with, okay? You want to join someone that you get along with really well, that you trust, that you see working their business, because that matters. I know sometimes it feels like it doesn't, but it truly matters when you join someone. You want to vibe with them. Oh, good, Teresa. I'm so glad that you love it. Your eyeshadow. Oh, yeah, you got the iconic palette. I'm so excited. I'm going to show you guys what Teresa got. Isn't that so pretty? Okay. I'll go back to my story. So, it kind of, it does matter. It matters who you're with. You want to be able to vibe with them. And I don't know, I just started having fun with it. And at the time I had just switched corporate jobs. So I went from a corporate job where I worked in the office Monday through Friday, to a corporate job where I worked at home. So I was on my computer, which is where this ties in, that I was getting to earlier. Have this 9 to 5 job working at home. It's amazing. I loved it. But I have absolutely no like coworkers to see in person. I went from having like the best friends of coworkers that I got to see every single day and hang out with at work to like just myself. But insert network marketing, and I just met this whole group of women online, and it was so much fun, and that truly became my outlet. So this was my outlet when I worked at home with my corporate job, and now this is my outlet staying home with my babies. Isn't that kind of cool how it all worked out? And then we'll fast forward some more with my corporate job I was working insane amount of hours. At first, overtime was optional, but I of course took it because I never worked a corporate job where I got paid overtime. We were salary, so we never got paid overtime. So when I'm at this new job that I'm loving, I started volunteering for the overtime at first, and I was able to qualify for it. So, and by the time I was starting to get burnt out on doing all of that, hello, mother. By the time I got burnt out on doing that, they made all of that overtime mandatory. So here I am, like fighting my autoimmune disorder, trying to heal something that is so big for everyone, but especially when your autoimmune is already compromised, stress will like eat you alive from the inside out. And that's what was happening to me. So after a year and a half, I think I'm so bad with time frames and years, but I know that it was October. What year is it? It was October of 2018. I'd already been talking to my husband about it over the summer prior to that. We were talking, and I was just miserable. I worked all the time. Even it didn't matter that it was at home. Like, I was so miserable. My adrenal fatigue was getting so bad. I was having flare-ups, kind of like I'm having now, but now these are from having cocoa. So I'm working on that now. But I was just having flare-ups from autoimmune so often, almost monthly, and I was just incredibly miserable. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I told my husband, we looked at what I was bringing in network marketing wise. I'm like, I'm miserable, and if I keep going the way that I'm going, my flare-up is going to be like a forever flare-up, because I could not get out of bed when I was flared up. So we talked about it for a lot, and I prayed about it for so long. And of course, this is an incredibly scary thing to do, but I left my corporate job. I left it, and I was nervous because, when people first heard, like, oh my God, Katie left her corporate job because she's in network marketing, like, she must be like, swimming in money. And I wasn't. I really wasn't. I had enough for what we needed. And that was worth it to us, because I needed that breather. Like, I needed that amount of stress to be taken away in order for me to concentrate on healing my body. It was so essential. And it was really just kind of a blessing, like, spiraled out of that, and quit my corporate job, stayed with network marketing, obviously. A few months later, we bought our very first home. And then sometime after that, we were able to finally get pregnant with Coco. And so it was a really, really, really big blessing that I was able to bring in that income. And at the time, it was my only income. And it was very, very scary to leave everything that I was making, because I worked overtime every single day that I was working. So I always had more than just a regular paycheck coming in. And that was scary to do, but I just knew that my health mattered. And if we didn't take matters into our own hands, it wouldn't have mattered what kind of job I had, because I would have been bedridden anyways for God knows how long. So that is how that came about. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my life. I knew, so with that being said, I really obviously like this lifestyle. I like being able to be my own boss. I like being able to have the freedom to now homeschool my son. And like I was saying, I used network marketing at first as an outlet because I worked from home. So I never got to see any coworkers. Like, all my coworkers were through IM, like the Jabber IM system. Like, that's how I would communicate with coworkers. And actually, even at my newer job, I didn't know anyone. Like, the person that I talked to the majority of the time was my supervisor. So this was my outlet, and now it's really kind of cool to see it all fast forward and unfold even more, that it's now my outlet while I'm being home with my kids. You know, I was not going to put Coco in daycare. Like, when she was born, the pandemic literally was unfolding in front of us. So I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting my newborn in daycare, especially with whatever all of this was going on. And I knew at that point that something needed to change for me network marketing wise, because where I was, it was enough, but it wasn't really enough anymore with a new baby and, you know, all the things that new babies come with. So I knew that I needed to do something else. I had to figure out another way, another source of income to supplement even more, because I was not sending my baby to daycare. I just wasn't going to do it. I know some people have to do it and they don't have a choice, but I was very determined, and that was something I prayed about even prior, like before I even had Coco. I was praying for direction and guidance, and that's where pharmacy came in. And I mean, my income, like, I wish that I would have switched before, like way sooner than what I did, but I know everything happens for a reason. Because my income that I make now doesn't even, like, it's, or I guess I should say the income that I used to make, doesn't touch what I make now. So it's just, it's been an incredibly big blessing to us. And like, now being able to homeschool, that was something I've always wanted to try, but I held myself back because I knew I had to bring in a certain amount of income. And where I was prior to pharmacy, I wasn't growing the way that I needed to grow. That was very, very big. And so that always just kind of freaked me out. And I was like, how am I going to juggle trying to grow this business so hard and try to concentrate on homeschooling? I couldn't do it. There was no way in my mind that I could make those cross. And so we just stuck with school, even though I knew that Django struggled with public school and like the insanely ridiculous curriculum that they had. It just didn't work for him. It does work for some kids, I know, but it didn't work for him. And so all of last year really turned out to just be a blessing for us, because it definitely gave me that push that I needed to find a new career path with network marketing and homeschool Django. So it's been really, really good. But I think that it's important to share these because you never know who is trying to make ends meet. You never know who is like crunching numbers with their budget every single month just so they can get enough groceries for their family, or just so they can fill up their car enough times to get to school drop-offs, to work. Like, you never know until you start talking about it. And that's important to me because I needed this opportunity so bad. I mean, I still do. It's literally how I pay for our bills, anything for the kids. Like, this is it. And you know, this is definitely an industry, although I will say, thankfully, it has evolved so much. It's still an industry where people are always going to, you know, roll their eyes, or they're not going to get it. They're not going to be open-minded enough to understand how it works. And that's okay. That's okay, because if you have it in your heart to try something, you have to try it. Like, that is your intuition speaking to you, telling you to do it. And the thing is, with network marketing, you know, 3.5 years ago, I did not think that this is where my life would be. I loved where I was going with the corporate world. I loved it. Like, I was just in that like path, almost like a hamster wheel of like the way a lot of people are. And I was happy with it. That's just what I thought. That's how I thought my life had to be, because that's what everyone says your life has to be, and that's how everyone else lives their life. And it feels really nice to have been able to break away from that cycle, and just do things different. But the thing is, like, I didn't join 3.5 years ago with intentions of quitting my full-time job to homeschool and stay at home with a baby. Like, those were never, oh my gosh, I used to love going to work, honestly, when Django was a baby, because I felt like it was my break. And here I am, home all day with both of them. and I love it. I truly, truly love it. And it's just, I don't know, you never know. It's one of those things where you just never know until you try it. And the thing is with network marketing, depending on, all different companies have different like criterias and things like that. I partnered with someone this time who has a very low startup cost. We don't have any monthly or yearly fees. I don't have to hold inventory. Like there's a bunch of, if I left all of this right now, like it's not like I'm out anything, is what I'm trying to say. And sometimes people really do just need to buy groceries. Like you could easily make $100, $200, $300, like just for play money. Like I keep saying like a lot, but I'm just really excited. And I think that that's the thing with our mindset when we think of network marketing, is that we have to go big or go home. And, we have to go all out. We have to be the next 6-figure earner. And yeah, that's amazing. But the thing that matters most is all of those little small goals. So if you join me or anywhere, and your goal is to bring in $100 a month, that's it. That's all you need for grocery money, for, like your extra grocery money. That 100 will easily turn into more, like while you're consistent with your business. And that is another thing, that you have to put in the work. Whatever company you join with, like you will never join a network marketing company and just flourish in money. You won't. And I feel like I'm a pretty good example of being consistent with your business no matter what. No matter what. Like no matter what life event has happened over the past 3.5 years, I have always shown up for myself in one way or another, for my business, for myself, for my family. I have a lot on the line to not be consistent for. And sometimes I feel like, I could just stop and go to the corporate world and be stressed from everything there, and be stressed from having to pay for daycare, and stressed having to work and drive from here to there. And that's stressful to me. Like I would rather be home where I am, making money however I want to. And, where I am in my life right now, like this is pretty nice. So you just never really know what someone else's intentions are. And I think that it's important to talk about. So, yeah, I feel like I've gotten my point across. And I don't feel like there was anything else that I was going to say. But if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. And I'll be honest with you. I feel like that's big too. There was something else that was sticking out to me lately, and I'm like, probably not a good way to talk to people about your business. And I don't remember what it was. I would just prefer to be honest and know what your intentions are for even being here, rather than just getting you all hyped up to be here and you do nothing. Because you do have to work. That's what I was saying. You do have to put in the work. And now, like, even since I've had Coco, I've been pretty consistent. I will say, like, if there's ever a time where you do not see me being consistent, if you do not see me on social media at all, now that I've had Coco, it's probably going to be towards the end of the month, and it's because my autoimmune is flared up. Always so helpful. Thank you, Judy. I try. I do it because I care about people, and I feel like if you are here, like, to make a difference and to work your business, I'm going to help you. If you need my help, I'm going to help you. That's what I'm here for. Like, I just feel like that's pretty simple. That's literally what I'm here for. All that I wanted to do is help people. So when I have people that join that want to do stuff, it makes me so excited, because that's what I thrive on, is helping people. So yes, you definitely have to put in the work. And like I said, if you see me not working my business, you could pretty much know, like, my autoimmune flared up, and I'll be back in a day or two. That's pretty much how I go. But I have always been consistent, and it pays off. And depending on the level of work that you put into your business and into yourself, okay, this is another thing. So maybe I'm not finished, but I'm almost finished. This is another thing that is so important to network marketing, is personal development. It's huge. It is so, so big. And for me, personal development, expressing gratitude, journaling, like, you can only get so far until you start investing in yourself. That's how I feel. And I know my mind has changed drastically since I first started this industry and got to any of that. it has changed drastically. So, and there's always room for improvement. Like, we're always going to keep changing. We're always going to keep evolving, keep growing, because that's what we're supposed to do. So don't feel afraid to change and grow and evolve, because you were meant for so much more. Like, you were meant for so much more than just being, like, stuck where you are right now. So if there is something else that you are wanting to do with your life, part-time, full-time, in between time, do it, because you're hurting yourself by not doing it. And I hope that you invest in yourself enough to just do